amp-hour. This is a tabless battery, which basically means there's more surface area. 21700 cells. I got this recip saw for $120. Now you can hack this, but you don't have to hack it, and you can get it for $126 or whatever on Amazon. I think we need some more nails in this. There's already some nails in this, but you guys didn't get to see me launching in here, so we're gonna pop a couple of nails in here.
Your audio is all over the place.
My what?
Your audio, your microphone is all over the place.
Is it still not good?
It's good while you're next to the phone.
All right, that's a start, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't forget to turn it on.
Oh no, we've got to.
Say you begin in
Put
low.
some nails in it, actually.
You're the only one here, Juan.
What's up, Juan?
Souls ser you bien in
Here we go.
Iowa? No, I am not in Iowa.
That's fine enough.
All right, yeah, sure. If not, you can always shoot in more.
We can. We could. We could. The trick is keeping everything on the table. That's the trick here.
The trick is putting your shish. The trick is putting your sis in their kebab.
Yeah, or my kebab in their shishka.
That's the one. 4-volt Ryobi. No. Okay. I mean, it's a little slow. What's up, William? Oh, well, welcome, Wilma. That is exceptionally slow. I don't know why he's bragging about this. This is very slow. Dang. If this was his selling point to this one, that was pretty slow. That was tragic.
Let me show you how dull this blade is, so we can compare it. But still, this saw didn't bog down, and yeah.
All right.
We'll take a
welcome, Kansas.
We'll take a regular blade that has not done this cut about 10 times.
Okay. Just so we're clear on this, that blade used to be 9 inches, but it was really cold out.
This one, yes. That's exactly what happened.
Daddy, what's up?
Sorry.
Kansas says he's working and listening.
Nice.
I hope the pimp doesn't find out that he's listening.
Keep it in the frame, buddy.
Cool.
Good thought.
It's all right.
Let's look at this.
This is not the best saw I've ever seen, by the way.
No, it's just a good saw. It's a compact. It's a compact 2-hand / 1-hand saw.
Do you have your one-hand saber saw?
Yeah, we did that live the other day. When we were jacking around with the chainsaw. And
I don't understand what you're asking.
Me?
No, Juan.
Oh, what's he asking?
He's saying, souls say, hey all, like you would like some chicken. I don't know what that would sound like.
I don't know what that means either. I like how the blade just drops in there. Here we go. That's vibrating way too much. We should hide this from the wife.
It is for her pleasure. Which one was
Okay.
that? Was that still the DeWalt or was that the Flex?
It was a flex. We really need to hold it in our hand.
Yeah,
The accuracy and the dangerousness. I made up that word real quick of how
I
what this saw can
see.
do.
This is how you lop off the end of your knuckle, by the way.
Very accurate, safe, one hand saw, smooth, no worries.
Okay, am I the only one watching to see if there's any blood that'll come out of his fingers? And like, am I the only one thinking that there might be,
Yeah,
given the way he's holding it?
you're the only one thinking that.
He is he is testing two different. He's testing the Flex one hand saber saw and the DeWalt D handle. Jesus Christie.
This is terrible, by the way.
It's a skill. I think skill is right there in the name that it's terrible.
It's an embarrassment what this thing is.
Yeah,
Bro, we're gonna break this screw before we get this thing in.
well,
Perfect.
there's a
Okay.
prediction that came true.
Here's the thing. We actually wanted to break the screw. I was gonna have to break it regardless. What we're
Yeah.
gonna do, we're gonna take the twin grips and get this out.
Okay.
So we actually did want to break the screw. I just didn't know I was gonna get that lucky because now this thing is absolutely good and stuck. There's no doubt about how stuck this thing is gonna be, right?
Yes. Oh, one likes skill. Dang.
I don't even know if I can get this thing out. We're not
Well,
gonna spend a whole lot of time on it. We're just gonna see what we can do with
do you
what
have
we got.
do you have a cat's paw with a
Uh,
dimpler?
yeah, I've got a dimpler. We might have to dimple it. I'm gonna try not to. I want to see
Okay.
the limitations of this tool because while I do believe in it and it is a very nice tool, and we did some bench tests on it. Let me get the
One. You're 100% right. A drill is a lot easier to drive fasteners. It's a lot easier on the fastener. A lot of people don't understand that, but it's true. By the way, did you guys see my latest deal video yet? It's really good. I put some big ones, like huge deals right in the front.
man. I had a cat's paw. I don't know what it is right now. I want to see
He's
if I
not
can
gonna.
grab this thing.
All right.
Right, I think it's probably too good and stuck to even grab it.
What's up, Kona? Owen, Jonathan, you got home from work? I just got home for getting rejected by the wife again. But she said maybe later. There's always hope. Denny!
The screw is too soft to even grab, man.
Dang, that
So in
sucks.
this case, the screw is just gonna. That's not gonna be a good example. We need to break a different screw that's harder than this. Uh, let's do
Got
that.
drywall? Got a drywall screw?
I want to do something a little bit harder, but yeah, I got a
Chiefs are
drywall screw.
better.
What's up?
Um, the Chiefs won the championship this year as many times as the Falcons did this year.
Let's go with one of these.
At least I know my team sucks, and then we didn't trade away our best offensive lineman. Oh wait, excuse me. Leave the screw there, mate. Okay. Only takes one tactical errors electrician to screw it up. Getting rejected from your girlfriend. My girlfriend never rejects me. I keep her handy.
Is her name Homa?
No, it's Kansas.
Oh,
Yeah, Trey will be a huge loss.
How much later is
The Lexus guy. What do you think about the hydraulic impact drivers? I think the
they're
870
nice.
is the
They're good ones.
best. I think the 870 from DeWalt is the best one that's ever
Yeah,
been
come
made.
with me. We'll go pick one out together.
Okay. And I think the Milwaukee is the worst one, other than the Makita that's ever been made.
So we got the American US
Yes,
860. We got
sir.
the import 860.
Uh-huh.
We got the 870.
He was asking about hydraulic.
Okay.
Hey,
This one.
Patrick sent you a gift. It was a green thumbs up.
Oh man, I appreciate that. YouTube is really bad, right? Okay. I appreciate that. YouTube is really bad about flashing those on the screen for only 3 seconds. So I apologize that I missed it. Thank you for my co-host for noticing that. YouTube's got to do better about that, man. If you guys are going to send us stuff, they need to acknowledge it way better.
Actually, if you look at the chat, it says it in the chat now.
Yeah, but it used to says it. Sent a thumbs up. Okay, thank you, sir. YouTube did just do some updates, so maybe they're working on it.
I have not spoken to Rigid in over a year.
Hey, we also got some unboxing to do. So, in the last 2 weeks, DeWalt has been going crazy with some deals. We picked up this recip saw for $123 on Amazon. We also picked up. Hang on, I don't want to show my address.
Kona, I don't know.
Two power stack batteries, 1.7s. For how much? How much was this?
To $1.53.
$53, dude. That is absolutely unheard of. $100 is a deal. What,
Price
50
going up
bucks
on
is
the DeWalt,
shipping.
maybe.
So these are the newer style, I think, aren't they? They look different than the standard
Yeah.
1.7. So the regular 1.7s look like this. And I think there's more gray. Yeah, with the XR. The XR branding. Let's get them open.
Forgot my name. Yeah, I love Metabo. I still think they're a viable brand in 2025.
Got the XR branding on there, power stack.
Yep.
Got some.
Which is silly, but hey, whatever.
Yeah, it is silly. Why do they look different? Are they smaller? They're the same damn size. They're the same size, right?
They look the same size.
Okay. Well, I
I
got
don't
a
see any
scale.
different.
I got a scale. We can check. But all right. So we got to get these charged. What do they come at? They should be
What's
1
up?
bar.
Forgot my name.
Yeah, they're 1 bar. That's good. So yeah, if you guys follow our channels, both of us, he does deals more than I do. But when I post a deal, it's a damn good deal. If you ever catch me posting a deal, it's usually a good deal. The last deal that I posted was this. The deal before that, we got this impact, we got this oscillator, we got two 2.0 batteries, we got a drill and a charger and a bag for $200.
Then he said he bought them. That's a good deal. I mean, I'm really happy with the deal. The last deal that I got, which is the Bosch 3/4 rotary hammer for $49.
Yeah, that's a good deal. I'm a little bit biased with my deal. She'll show you everything. I gotta want it for me to show you. So
Yeah.
yeah, definitely follow Tools with Souls for the best deals. But if I post one, it's usually a good deal. I don't just post all the deals. I post the really, really amazing ones. In my opinion.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is how quiet it is. Nice and smooth, right?
Sounds it.
What happens?
Oh
What
shit.
happens if this just magically breaks off like this? We missed. Hang on. Let me put the camera down. Let's see if we can get it one hit.
Just motivating a fast gas car when it never beat their own electric version. It's hard to beat electric.
Dryer. I thought I was going to hit it towards my dryer. That'd be a mistake.
It's hard to beat an electric car.
Missed. Oh, took a hit.
Don't you have a pair of nippers, dude? Why don't you just cut it with your linesman?
See if I can get it. I want to get it.
Okay. He's trying to show something about something, and he's doing something.
You know, for the purpose of the live, I think this man is correct. We probably just need to get the nippers.
That's right. They have instant torque. I do list good deals, and I'm the only channel that'll tell you what not to buy, as opposed to what to buy. Takes 5 electricians. 2 of them are spotting. 2 are on the lift. 1 to hold the light bulb, while the second one twists the proper torque spec with the last guy supervising the spotters. I think, if I'm not sure, I think you counted 6, dude.
Which one of us is hiding the broom?
None of you. Electricians don't know what a broom is.
This is my thought on this, right? It grabs. Like we are slowly but surely getting this out, right? My thought on this is going to be that once you break this loose, you still need the proper tool for the job, which is vice grips.
Okay.
So, because nobody wants to sit there and squeeze that tight for that long. So once you, I don't know if that's grabbing or not.
There's a perfect example of what he was saying. Knipex are the best, says Mip.
What's up?
Oh, I was just reading.
The twin grips are really impressive. Don't get me wrong. They spin and everything.
Oh, that's right, B.
But if you got a bolt or something, man, and you're just spinning it, that's one thing. But if you've got an actual broken screw, as like a handyman, you probably don't want to be squeezing on this. And depending, like right now, I'm at the ideal position, and I've got the best leverage, and I can bend my elbow, but like working overhead or something, dude, and squeezing this, and doing that motion, you're better off with vice grips. So once you get the screw loose, let me see if this.
What's up, Paul?
This is completely flat too. Yeah. There we go.
Thank you, Paul. That's a great reminder. Hit the like button. Double tap your screen if you're on Android or Apple.
And we are unable to grab it. And actually, I can't even unlock it because it's so damn tight. Let's see what happens if we take some etches for science.
Can I teach you something about vice grip?
Yes, please teach me something about vice grip, sir.
Okay, can you zoom the cam, like put it back on there the way you had it?
Yeah.
And then lift your camera up so that they can see the handle.
Want me to lock it?
Yep, lock it.
Okay.
Now lift it up so they can see the handle. Oh, those are Knipex. Never mind.
Yeah, these don't have the little magical lever, and I squeezed the piss out of them to get them this tight.
I'm going to use the real thing every time over the Knipex. Knipex brand is great for an electrician, but when you want a man to do a man's job, you need the real thing.
There we go. We etched the screw a little bit just by biting into it with some pliers. And yeah, this is what you want. Like, this is so much easier to do than using the twin grips the whole time. Agreed?
Yeah.
So this is still something you need in your tool bag. If you claim to use these for extracting screws, you really don't know what you're doing unless you have some of these to pair along with it, in my opinion. I wouldn't recommend just using these because grabbing bolts and stuff, man, you can see where it's digging right there, right? So so they dig really.
And them soft hands. You got them soft hands, boy.
These hands aren't soft.
They look like they're baby soft.
I got calluses, man.
You
Not like
got
I was.
calluses from rubbing it out. You do it 118 times a day, you'll develop a callus.
Yeah, actually, the Leatherman that has locking pliers on it called the Crunch, and it's
Oh,
sadly
that's
discontinued. Man, some of the best multi tools are sadly discontinued.
yeah. I'm not a multi-tool guy. I never. No baby oil. I am not a huge Leatherman's fan. Um, they're okay in some instances, but I just don't like them.
This
Juan
is what
likes
I
it raw.
want to do.
Oh dang! Juan
This is
did it
what
to
this is
himself.
what they originally came for, right? This is the
The 870.
so then what happens is you use the wrong screw on a number 3 screw when you should have used a number 3, right? This is a number 2 right now, so we can strip it out.
Got a hot tool and spit on that thing.
Hang on. There we
I
go.
understand, Nip Nip.
There we go. Now we're
I'm just
good.
not a fan of them.
Now we're like rounded.
There you go.
There you go.
Perfect.
So now we have no choice
Oh
but to
yes, you
grab
do.
this. So this is what I want to show you. Out here, this is how far you are
Thanks,
out here.
Jamie.
So your grip here, you can barely touch your thumb here. So this is going to be pretty uncomfortable if it's really stuck, right?
Yeah.
And then if we open these up just a little bit more, because they do have a little bit of opening, we're still out here and we're still having to squeeze. And there's a lot of force going here.
Sure.
And if we open them a little bit more, because they kind of vary, you're still having to squeeze to get leverage on this. And then you're going to sit here, with this motion and do this 100 times and slip off. And hang on, I'm actually trying to do a good job right now.
Not me. I wouldn't be doing that. Guess what tool I would be using?
Yeah, I would be using vice grips right now.
Nope. Guess what tool I would be using?
Well, you're going to chuck a drill into it like I did on my short.
Yeah, I
Have to
thought
show you.
everybody did that.
Not
I
everybody
thought
does that.
everybody did that.
Not everybody does that. Some people are too afraid to mess up their chuck, which is understandable, right? So
Yeah.
you can do that. This is going to be very tight. Let me show you what I do.
100K sub twerk. That's Sunday. Sunday at 7. That's when you'll get a 100K celebration.
Get one of your worst drills you own. Mine would either be the M12 Milwaukee or this thing, and just spin it out.
See, that was so much easier. Steven Ott here. What's up? Steven wants me to help him find a $49 rotary hammer. I gotta see if I can.
See here.
You don't see the problem most people have when they're doing the chuck is they like to over tighten. That's how they get messed up. If you just tighten it to where it's firm,
Yeah,
you don't
yeah.
have to go anything.
Right, right. It's a 3-point chuck, so it's even more than the 2-point pliers that you start off with. I mean, this thing will grab onto round drill bits perfectly with no problem. You can definitely grab a mangled up screw without messing up the chuck too bad.
Or not knowing what a clutch is. I actually had somebody, and I still haven't responded to the guy because I don't know how to respond to him in a nice way. But watch one of my videos of
I got the
how
touch
to
bar.
use a drill. Oh, cool. Is that the Milwaukee?
That is the Milwaukee.
So
Where's the
guy
branding
watched
on
a
it?
video. I
Yeah,
don't
there it
know.
is.
Guy watched a video I did on how to use a drill, and in the video I talked about the clutch and how to use the clutch. And homeboy watched the video and said, What's the thing he's pointing to? They call it the clutch.
Nice. Hey, check this
Uh,
out. We just put this
I
battery on the
thought
charger.
he was kidding.
We're already at 3 bars. We
Yeah,
literally just put this dead battery on the charger, and it's almost charged right now.
sweet.
Yeah. So, power stacks
Uh,
for the win, dude. Always.
Steven, I have not used BrickSeek in years.
Neither have I. I think that the power stacks actually charge faster
Robert
than
Walt.
the tablets, right?
Yes. Yeah. I mean,
Hammer.
I only have one tabless battery to compare to, and it's an 8. And then 8's going to take longer than a 5 or a 1.7.
I mean, that's true. It takes a long time.
Oh, Mario said Ryobi tools. Ugh, oh God, I got sick to my stomach a little bit. Ever
Apparently, my
tell an
hammer fell
apprentice
on
to
the
hold the
table.
drill upside down to put it in reverse? I don't think I have, but I might have.
All right, let's see if we can get this screw here. Remember, we broke this off completely flush. Now, this might teeter. It might make a catapult. I don't know. But I'm
We
willing to
can
find
only
out right
hope.
now what's going to happen. I think
You're all right, Mario.
I kind of want to put a screw in this. It's probably going to teeter. Let's just see what happens.
Denny.
Yeah, it's going to teeter.
Yeah, that's enough. Jonathan, that's great. He told an apprentice to keep shaking the can of spray paint until it stopped rattling. That's a city guy right there.
That's awesome.
Out in the country, they call them rattle cans. You could never get away with that.
Rattle can, yeah.
Ah, keep the Miss Kita gals at home. I'm with you, Mario.
Think we can get it?
Should be able to.
Let's see. The corner of it, at least. We're going to grab it. Let's see. Yeah, dude, the twin grips are impressive as they bounce
Yeah.
off.
Juan doesn't like the cat's paw. Sweep the parking lot. Who hasn't made somebody do that?
Yeah, that's pretty normal.
I don't know why he would be upset with you, Jonathan. That's a
Oh, there
good
we go.
joke.
Let me see. Yeah, we're spinning it.
Okay. You had to sleep in the rain. I made somebody mop in the rain once.
It's pretty impressive, man. We're gonna treat this screw.
I told him that the plywood couldn't get, the OSB couldn't get wet, so I made him go out and mop it.
See, we got the screw out.
You're sweeping a driveway.
That's pretty legit, you know.
Yeah.
But I
Twink.
still think that you should have, some kind of something like this on you to, maybe not.
That is true. When they tell you to go back to labor, that's a key indication that they're a bad apprentice.
There we go. Yeah, we successfully extracted that screw with a cat's paw, the twin
What's up,
grip, and then
Sharouche?
finished it off with not even the best grip. Like let's be honest here. These aren't going to provide the best grip for a screw. You get the real vice grips with the closer jaw. Those
Right.
really tighten down. You've got a lot of fluctuation where you're almost like a lever action, but in reverse, we're actually losing leverage as we get further away from this pivot point.
Right.
So this to grab this was pretty decent for Klein Tools. Man, Klein Tools is kind of a hit and a miss with some of their stuff lately.
I agree with that.
That's Klein. So, yeah, man. 100 reset.
Oh, RHB, that's cruel. The jaws will twist on those Kleins. I'm never really liked the needle nose style of locking pliers, but
Yeah.
a lot of people do, mainly electricians, because they don't really need good tools.
You know, I wish I had a longer metal blade, but we're gonna get a wood with
Oh,
nails,
all right then.
which is what this is. We have multiple nails in here. We're gonna have some more right now.
Peter C, I love van pliers.
Let's see how many we can add in here.
Okay.
And then let's appreciate the rapid fire on the Milwaukee, man. I don't think anything has quite the back-to-back hits that this thing has.
I think you're wrong. I think you're wrong.
What other brand does that?
Bosch.
Bosch is pretty good.
Bosch is
Here we
very
go.
good.
It's gonna hold the trigger.
And the Bosch has better balance. Little 30 degree. Look at that. It's so cute. Look at him use it. 30 degrees.
We're out of bullets.
No, those are nails.
The bullets. This is
Okay. Metabo. Yeah. Metabo also does it. My problem with Metabo is they jam too early. Or they jam too quickly. They don't get all the glue off of the nails. Like it drags along them and it gums it up over time.
Let's take a DeWalt.
Yeah.
And we're going to take a less aggressive blade. We're going to go with the
Lennox blades. I like Lennox. All right, do you, dude? It's your world. I'm just a squirrel trying to get a nut.
Look,
but not yours. I know the type of nuts you're into.
The trick is to not rattle everything off the table.
He forgot the top plate. Oh, Jesus. We're still doing that. Okay. Forgot the top plate.
Forgot the top plate. Damn. Fired.
Miguel, I like that teacher. That's a new blade, and it's kind of slow. It really sounds like he's underwater, though, when he's doing this. All right. Who's Tuffy?
We're just drop testing all the other tools on the workbench right now.
That's all right.
On the drop test, we've had the DeWalt flashlight.
Yeah.
Where's the button?
I think it's just slow.
Did we break it? No, it's right there. Yeah, the DeWalt flashlight, the M18 nailer.
Oh.
Dropping all kinds of stuff.
Thought aliens infested the chat. I don't know what you're talking about, Paul.
Man, it'd be really nice to for this not to move while we're trying to cut it. That would be pretty cool. I thought I had another clamp, but I just don't.
Hey, they want to know if you're going back to OF tonight.
To OF, yeah. Well, your channel is Tools with Souls, so it's about feet, isn't it?
It is.
I thought so. Miguel. Twin grips are mainly for. Oh, I'm way behind.
Owen, you got to try CMT. You got to try the CMT blades. You'll never go back to Diablo.
Yeah. You know, the flex, we can run. We got some nails up here. Let's pop some more nails in and let's hit it with the flex blade on the inline circular saw.
It is good to see Sharush here.
What's up, Sharush? Oh, we need more. Need more now.
Does Brandon have an OF? I don't know who Brandon. You mean the guy that just got out of office? Yeah, maybe. I wouldn't be surprised. He sold out so many other things. CMT blades, you can find them on Amazon, Menards,
That's it.
any of the woodworking stores. They'll have CMT.
All right, so this has all of the carbide teeth on it.
I see.
I actually like these blades, man. For a while, okay, that one's missing a tooth.
Oh, yep.
Looks like one from Kentucky, huh?
Damn, first Philly cheesesteak in a year, Paul? That's tragic, dude. You're using it to yeah. Just get you a good CMT blade,
Ready?
Owen. Yep.
Wonder if I need to look away while I cut.
Only solo showing how to build houses with Makita, 50 cents a month. No.
That's
Nope.
that's an inline.
It is.
I mean, that's kind of all you need. I think it's set to the maximum depth. Nope, it's not.
Parties on Saturday. Sunday. We'll be celebrating on Sunday.
Not bad.
Such a huge accomplishment. 100,000. We did it the day before our 4-year anniversary because today is our 4 years on YouTube. Still looking good. Oh, you lost another one.
Might have lost that one. I think. Let me see. And that one, no, it's the same. I'm already back around. We're already missing 2 teeth. I think,
Okay.
right? So we marked that at the X, right? Let me see. 2.
What I drill through concrete with a warrior
Yeah,
drill?
and then we're back at the X. So,
No.
yeah, looks about the same. Maybe worse there. Looks like we're actually missing a chunk of a actual shape.
Does Makita have the best circular saw? No. They're not even in the
Makita has a
top
good
5.
circular saw. The 36 volt pretty damn good, but it's not the best. I think the rear handle flex is better.
I think the rear handle flex, the Metabo, the DeWalt, the Milwaukee, the Rigid are all better than the Makita.
Dang.
No one should ever consider buying a warrior drill unless it's a gag gift.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
I thought maybe I was gonna subject you to cruel and unusual punishment, and you're gonna have to watch me organize this all.
Oh, thank God that didn't happen.
Because I put insulation on it, and now it gets stuck in the. We're gonna cut a little bit more off, but I'd rather pinch the insulation to get less noise.
Makita probably does have the best tampons. I'm just gonna agree with you, Sharush.
What we're gonna do is we're gonna talk about a scenario today where I help somebody out. I was there for a ceiling inspection. Yeah, I'm using the sleeve.
Paul.
We got the whiteboard, Paul. We got the whiteboard, baby.
Makita makes the very best nothing. Microwave.
Microwave.
Of course, I think they're the only ones that make a microwave.
Look, check it out. This is gonna help you guys out. If we have an electric room, okay? Very simple rule. If we have an electric room, and in that electric room we have equipment, And this equipment is 800 amps or more. Okay. In any configuration, it does not matter. If we have a door. It's going to draw this like this for now. Any door. It doesn't matter how big the electric room is. It doesn't matter how many doors we have. If we have 800 amps of equipment and a door, we need to be at least 25 feet away from the door. And if we're not, we have what we call listed panic hardware, and the door needs to swing in the direction of egress. That's basically the rule. So whenever I get on site, the first thing I do, if it's like ceiling or like a roof or something where they got the walls standing up, I go straight to the electric room and I try to be proactive and I start looking at which direction the door is going to swing, because that can be a costly mistake at final once you get paint and primer and paint and mud and everything's all done. The last thing you want to hear is you need to re-swing the door a different direction.
You know.
Let alone order listed panic hardware. The door thing, absolutely. So then also, okay. Also, if we have equipment that's 6 feet or wider, and it's 1200 amps,
I did read your comment, Peter.
and we got 6 feet wide equipment, 1200 amps, 6 feet. We have to have 2 doors, or
Oh wow.
or we got to double our working clearance. So if we have a transformer here, for example, really common, might have a panel here, might have a panel here, and this panel, let's say this was 480 volts, and the regular requirement for the clearance for this would be 42 inches, because we've got 480 volts here and we got a grounded transformer here. This would be 42 inches.
Yep.
Minimum front to back working clearance. If we only have one door, and we have 6 foot wide, we have to double our working clearance. So this will destroy a whole job, any profit, because you should have 2 doors basically when you have this equipment, right? But if you don't, you have to double your working clearance. I went into a hotel the other day. I made them have to go like get a professional track saw for concrete.
Oh
And
yeah.
they set it up and bolt it to the wall because they had to cut a hole in their solid concrete wall. So basically, this was the door, and it did swing outward because I was proactive.
Hold
They
on,
had
B
a
Mark.
double switch gear in here, and they had panels all along here, and they had panels all along here. And he looked at me and he said, "I've got my 3 feet. 3 feet. It was 208 volt.
Yeah.
We only need 3 feet, 36 inches. But because this was, I think it was 3,200 amps, we'll just call it 3,000 amps. 3,000 amp switch gear.
Hey, hold on. Say hi to Amber.
He needed, what's up, bub? So he actually needed 6 feet. So what they ended up having to do was relocate a whole bunch of equipment on this wall.
Yeah.
And they actually had to saw cut me a door, because you got to have 2 exits when you have 1,200 amps, or when you have 1,200 amps or more, 6 feet more. So 6 feet and 1,200 amps. That's your thresholds. And if you have that, you have to double your working clearance or have 2 doors. Now, because we're over 800 amps, these doors also have to have listed panic hardware and swing in the direction of egress. That right there will split the profits to a job.
Hold on. Wait, we need a break. We need to let everybody process this information.
Yeah.
B Mart asked, what are your thoughts on the buy more, save more at Home Depot on Milwaukee?
What are my thoughts on the buy more, save more? I have not looked, but I can tell you, if you're in the market for Milwaukee, basically the prices from 2018 and 19 are they're gone. So you got to spend a lot of money to get a little bit more nowadays. There's better deals sometimes if you want to get a bare tool every now and then. If you really need a bunch of tools at once and you really want to bulk up on batteries or whatever you're trying to do, the buy more, save more is usually a good idea.
Okay, I'm going to describe it another way. You ready for this?
Yes.
Y'all brace yourself. You might want to take a pen and paper out. You're going to have to write this
This,
down.
this guy knows his deals, man. I haven't looked at any of them.
Buy more, save more is girl math. I spent this much to save this much. What are you,
Right.
retarded? That's retarded. You spent that much. You didn't save a damn thing. You just spent that much.
That's awesome. Yeah. Yeah, they got you. If I need a bunch of bulk stuff, yes, it makes sense. Only then, basically. You can get, so lately, the last few things that we showed on the channel, this was $50.
Yeah.
There's no buy more, save more that can beat the deal that just came with Power Stacks. My 860 American was $130 bare tool.
Right.
And my recip saw that's usually $200, $179.
123, yeah.
I got
Oh,
it for
the
123.
D handle? The D
Yeah,
handle that
usually
you got?
it's 120.
Yeah,
200.
179 normally, not on sale.
So just be looking out for deals. If you're not in a rush to be buying stuff, don't just wait, because there's always something better than buy more, save more. Buy more is just kind of like that midpoint in between where there's no more holidays on. They don't really have a good good reason to sell you more crap. And that's what they got going, just to kind of keep their sales going. But you got to spend a lot of money to save a little bit of money.
Yeah.
Back in the day, it used to be worth it, man. You just, I mean, it was like $100 more, and you got, $200 of extra stuff.
I'll say this, instead of doing the buy more, save more every week, both Lowe's and Home Depot have one day out of the week where they have power tools on sale. And that's the best time to buy it, when it's not like Christmas or whatever, Father's Day savings, whatever. Like you're just in the doldrums like we are right now. That is the perfect time to buy, is the one day of the week where it is to your benefit. The rest of the time, buy more, save more never thrilled me. I never thought it was worth it. I don't believe the saving or spending $500 to save $100 means that I saved $100. It means I spent 400.
Yeah. Klein had to buy more, save more for, I think it was Black Friday. It was Black Friday. It seems like yesterday, dude. The year's going by quick. That's kind of worth it. Klein is not usually something you find on sale unless the store is going out of business. Klein is one of those brands where if you can get $6 off of any Klein tool, you're going to be buying that Klein tool anyway, for the most part. It's tried and true. You're going to use it every day. Money off of a Klein tool makes sense. Money off a Knipex tool makes sense. Even $3 off a Knipex tool makes sense. $50 off a Milwaukee tool makes a little bit of sense, but you have to be really needing it, and not be willing to wait for the next thing coming around, because the fluctuation with power tools is much higher than the fluctuation on hand tools. So for the BOGO stuff, I don't really do it too much.
And we have a question in the comments that the people in the comments, they're probably going to disagree with what I'm about to say. The question was, who has the best impact wrench? And the choices were DeWalt or Milwaukee. Now, I saw all you guys saying red. That ain't true.
That's not true. That's not true.
It is DeWalt. DeWalt makes currently the best
very
impact
good
wrenches.
impact. And I'll actually show you why. I've got a 12-volt impact. This is how good DeWalt's good at making impacts. Now, keep in
Although
mind,
the new 12-volt Milwaukee is infinitely better than the 12-volt
it took them
DeWalt.
4 years to catch up to this thing.
it took the how long to catch up to the M12? I don't really see the point in that, but okay.
I'm just saying, DeWalt knows how to make a good impact without really having to think about it.
Yes,
It took
DeWalt makes the
took
best.
Milwaukee's M12 almost 3 years to catch up with DeWalt's M12 for the impact
Okay.
wrench. For the impact wrench only.
Okay.
That thing will bust 400 foot in reverse and 200 forward, I think.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
So is DeWalt
basically
better?
that's DeWalt. Like if you're not doing flywheels and stuff, or like a whole bunch of lug nuts all the time, if you're doing like I don't know, brakes or shocks, things like that, that even that little 12 volt will get you by. I wouldn't buy a 12 volt as a mechanic, but the DeWalt stuff is miles better. And Milwaukee had issues with some of their generations as well.
Yeah, don't not worry about the issues. The one thing I will say, between the two of them, only one of them comes capable of handling automotive fluids, and that's DeWalt.
That's true too.
So if
They
you're
can
going to
get
be
those
doing,
batteries.
yeah, if you're going to be doing any kind of automotive work, the tool itself, like the clamshell of the tool, is actually prepared to handle automotive fluids, the corrosive fluids, the whole 9 yards. Whereas Milwaukee is not. If you've ever seen a mechanic using a Milwaukee for a long time, all of the rubber gets eaten off of it, like every inch.
Dude, this guy, he says, I remember when you came over to stuff my stepmom's first. That was your stepdad, dude. I was banging your stepdad.
Oh, I was banging your stepmom.
Right. Yeah, we were tag team. We actually did the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah, we played cuffs with your mommy.
He did the Houdini when I was doing the Eiffel Tower, and then he went. I had my buddy come in when she wasn't looking, and then Souls was in the window waving hi, and she was like, "Huh?"
she didn't even she didn't even know. I'm not saying your mom is slow, but we
And
even
dude,
introduced her to the other guy.
I she begged you to call her back too, man. You never would.
No, no. Well, she didn't. She offered to pay me the full price,
Well,
and then
dude,
she
you
told me she asked me if
tuna,
I could
dude.
take
He
food
got in my
stamps.
car. He got in my car, and all I could smell was tuna. And I was like, dude, that dude's stepmom has a real problem.
Yeah, I mean, she asked me if I took food stamps. That was, and I mean, I'm fat, but I still like cash, dude.
The cats were like swarming too, man. It was bad, dude. It was bad.
Every time I tried the back door, she would turn around and give me the angry dolphin.
Hit her
uh,
with that falling dragon. Get her surprised.
yeah, I mean, it was walking her around the block on a leash, though. I didn't want to be seen in public. I didn't want people to see me in public thinking it was a woman.
The giveaway was a paper bag that you made her put on her head, though.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, not even I wanted to see that.
Oh
It's
man,
not
you
the
should put a smiley face on it. People were getting bored.
I guarantee this is not the way this guy thought the conversation would go.
She was like, I can't tell if I'm happy or not. Can you draw a smiley face at least?
Man, I made her comb her hair forward just so I didn't take the risk of looking at her face.
It wasn't hard. It kind of stuck in place once you were done with it too.
Well, she did have that poodle look.
Yeah.
That's just terrible.
Oh man, that guy did not know anything. All right, Miguel. Miguel says, "Would you recommend a welder, a TIG or a MIG?" Man, it depends on what you're welding. Are you doing
Yeah.
aluminum? Are you doing stainless steel? I don't know that much about welders to recommend a brand. I've wired up a lot of plugs for buddies. And is it the Vulcan that's at Harbor Freight?
Yes, Vulcan at Harbor Freight.
Yeah, if you get the high end one, apparently it's not bad. I would still
I
go
got
Miller or Lincoln, obviously,
yeah,
but
obviously, or rigid.
yeah, but for like, not doing it for a living, and if you're just trying to, do something in your garage or something, yeah, I think he had a Vulcan if I remember right. It wasn't too bad.
Yeah, I don't weld. I don't know anything about welding, but every welder boilermaker I've ever met used either Lincoln or Miller.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever met one that used a Vulcan, but that just
No, this guy was doing motorcycle stuff. Nothing too crazy, and just a hobbyist.
okay.
But it
Well,
was
that
funny
makes
because
sense.
once I wired it up, we wanted to test it, because I put you put number 4 to the 50 amp plug, put on a 50 amp breaker, and we wanted
No,
to try it out. So he was showing me how to weld. Well, dude, my eyes are already like bad enough, so I don't want anything to do with a welder. I don't need any more risk of anything, right? Everyone that's ever welded, I know a lot of people, like way too many people, just be in the field for just the same company for 10 years. You talk to a lot of people, and they'll wake up one morning and they'll feel like there's sand in their eye, and they'll say, "Oh man, apparently I didn't shield in time," or "this wasn't doing this in time," or whatever it was. Like the slightest mistake, I can't afford to have with my vision.
mm,
So I don't weld. But he was trying to teach me. So I got this mask on. I can't see without my glasses, right? And he tells me to draw an E. Well, I didn't know that he was talking about little small E's. So I'm over here, dude. I'm drawing like a 3-inch E. Da, 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 da. And he just starts rolling, dude. And I was like, what? And he's like, man, I trying to teach you how to stack dimes and draw little E's. I was like, you didn't say that, man. You told me to draw an E. Like I thought I was just testing out to see how it drug or, you know, whatever. It was pretty funny.
dang.
Yeah, nothing about welding, dude. Asking the wrong
Nope.
person.
Nope.
I've got no problem telling you my limitations or experience on certain things. Welding is something I do not know anything about.
Now, if you need somebody to come out there and set the I-beam for you, I can do that.
Yeah,
But it ain't my job to weld.
welding
Oh,
milk tanks. Nice, nice.
somebody said something else that made me laugh.
Uh,
Oh, is Festo worth it, or is it just overpriced? It's just overpriced.
it depends on what you're doing too, man. It really does. They've got some really,
The Domino is the only one
yeah.
that's worth it.
See, you've got the
That's
domino.
it.
You've also got
That's it.
their miter saw has a trenching ability too. So it
That's great.
takes the place. Well, it does. It takes the place of a radial arm saw because you can set the trench. I don't know if you can put a dado on it. I don't want to talk past my
You do
experience
know
on
that
that.
you can set the depth on just about every miter.
Yeah, but it's not the same. That domino has a slide forward. Like if you want to talk about actual being useful, we'll talk about the Makita, but you don't want to talk about that.
Nope.
No,
Nope.
I,
Nope.
I think the
Nope.
Matabo might have a rail that pulls forward, but not a
Not
whole
till
lot of
June.
saws have the saw suspended on a rail that you pull forward. A lot of them are stationary like this, and the variation as the saw slides is just not as great as the Domino or even the Makita, unfortunately. Makita makes good woodworking stuff because you don't need a lot of power. He looks the other
I,
way. You're like my
I think
dog. When everyone's trying to discipline my dog, he's all like,
I think I'd rather use a beaver, like an
yeah.
actual beaver or a woodchuck, than a freaking Makita for anything.
we've got a couple of mechanics in here, Miguel. Underneath the hood, need help with an engine and transmission, and leaking oil and transmission fluid. Do you know where it's leaking from? That's the first thing, because
Gaskets.
it could be your rear main seal. Is it a truck? Is it an
It's a
F one
Cadillac.
fifty?
It's a
It's a Cadillac.
1961 Cadillac, probably Coupe de Ville, given it's a 69. Nobody else is going to buy any of the other stuff. The seals
I
are
had a
bad.
chance
That's
to
what I
buy
said.
one
Yeah.
of those for $5,000 a long time ago. I should have done it. It just was sitting in the garage. It had 5,000 miles on it. Could have bought it for like $5,000. I think they wanted. Maybe it was 8,000. It was a good deal though, but it had been sitting for like 3 years, and I knew every belt,
Russ.
every gasket, everything in that whole car was probably toast.
Mm. And by the way, I was right. It is a 61 Coupe de Ville.
Nice, nice.
Coupe. Oh, he
One
said it's a
volume.
sedan, so it's a four door. Jesus, dude. I
Oh,
hope you have a
nice.
family.
What's up, Russ?
My first car that I was ever allowed. My first car ever was a 1966 Chevy Impala. But the first car I bought for myself was a 1976 Cadillac.
Nice, nice. We have a
Oh,
guy that has a
couldn't
bunch of
find a parking
cars.
spot.
Let's just say he
Yeah,
has a bunch of cars, and his wife tricked him into actually buying like a really nice, really nice platinum Ford. It was like ungodly expensive because he never has anything nice for himself. And then
yeah.
she was like, "I want this," and then she refuses to drive it. So now he's like, "Ah, I gotta drive it because it's so expensive." So now he gets to drive something nice for once. He deserves it. But he's always had a lot of cars, a lot of beater trucks, and he just trades and just always doing something. And he got pulled over probably more than 15 times in a month because he was driving a caddy from that era where the trunk sits lower.
Yeah.
And then finally he asked the cops, he's like, "Man, why do you guys keep pulling me over?" And they're like, "This car looks like it's running drugs because the trunk sits so low." He's like, "That's just the
Makes
natural
sense.
look of the car." So everybody was pulling him over, man. Finally he asked somebody.
Mm. Well, I can tell that. So the car I took my road test in was a 1977 Plymouth Grand Fury that was 24 feet from fender to fender.
I was gonna say that's like a boat, right?
Oh yeah. Being from New York,
Yeah.
you measure the space of your trunk by how many human beings can fit in there
Right.
if their life was not
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
continuing.
usefulness. Yeah, in New York makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah. So
How
I
many?
believe I know of at least 6 people that we got in there at once. So and we had room to spare. Like they were not unhappy. No, it was a column shift.
Column
I think
shift. That's
the guy did something with a where it was a column shift. Like he wanted to drive a pickup truck, so he took the transmission, the shifter from an old pickup truck and he put it into the car and he made it a column shift.
yeah.
That that's how old I am, people.
Yeah. How old are you now?
I'm old. I'm old.
All right.
I'm a, I'm officially an AARP recipient.
Are
I'll
you are
say
you the
that.
oldest? Are you the oldest YouTuber with 100,000 subs?
Nope, nope. The
Well,
bear's older than me.
oh,
He's
that's
a
insane to think he has that many subs. Actually,
he's 100 and I think I added it up one day. I think he's 128 years old now.
can you imagine subscribing to that? You told me that everyone's starting to take shots now at him.
Denny sent me a thing today. I haven't gotten to look at it of Struggleville saying something about the bear.
Dang! Everyone's just taking shots at the bear.
I didn't
I
even know
never, I
Struggleville
never
was still
watched his
around.
channel to even know if he deserves to take shots at. I want to take shots to disingenuous people, right?
Yeah, well, you should start taking shots at him
Or
then.
people that won't take accountability. Like,
That's two.
I'm not going to say his name. I commented on one about a month ago on somebody's because active member of the electrical community, right? Not
Yeah.
the leading person, but definitely I want to promote everyone that I can. So I don't feel like I'm higher or anything. I just want to acknowledge people that are trying to come up in YouTube that are doing electrical content. Is that fair?
That's fair.
Okay. So that's a two-way street, bro. So if you post some shit that is just stupid, I'm not going to call you out, but we're going to talk about it, right?
No.
Anyway, this guy usually does pretty good work, man, but he left a transformer and he hit an MLO. No overcurrent protection. Came right off the secondary. And I put a comment down below and I was respectful about it. I was like, "Hey, something about we know you're going to put overcurrent protection on that," or something like it was on the lines of like giving the benefit of the doubt. I didn't exactly
Right.
say, "Hey, dumbass, you forgot your overcurrent protection. You literally have no way to trip the breaker, and you're never going to be able to clear any faults because you don't have any overcurrent protection on this. So
Makes sense.
enjoy heating up your wire to the point where the wire needs to basically separate, and you can fuse all your windings together, and maybe if we're lucky, the primary will trip when the secondary doesn't." But I didn't say that.
Oh no. Well, that's
I
good of
just
you.
said, I know you're going to put secondary overcurrent protection. And a month later, I didn't get a response. So, and it's not electrician U. I don't mind calling electrician U out. He's got way too many subs to be posting the wrong thing on YouTube. That's bad. And you need to
Again.
acknowledge when you mess up, right?
Yeah.
So I got no problem acknowledging when I mess up, and that's why I do so many things live, because everybody makes mistakes. So how do you handle your mistakes? Are you learning from them? Are you humble about them? Or are you just going to sweep it underneath the rug and still pretend like everything's okay? And then
Yeah.
he 700,000 people that you don't need overcurrent protection on a secondary,
Yeah.
things like that.
Absolutely. I
Let
still
alone hitting,
remember.
let alone hitting 480 volts on his 208-volt panel. That was my
That's
favorite, by the way.
perfect. Yeah.
That's my
I I
favorite.
s- I still remember the biggest mistake that's ever happened in your life. It was a big one.
Newbie question: what is a floating ground on a generator plug? It's not really a newbie question. That's actually a really good question. Um,
He
basically,
didn't let me finish. Bastard.
sorry, ADHD man. What's up?
Anyway, I still remember the biggest mistake that ever happened in your life.
Hang on, let me think. I made a lot of them. Which one was it?
The one where your dad made your mom wear the condom.
Oh, nice. What are you eating?
ah, ah,
Yeah.
ah. You didn't see that one coming. Us every day. Oh, okay.
Insulating the door. Actually, it's funny you said that, because when she closed this door popped open because someone came in here and didn't pull the door shut.
My bad.
The insulating door didn't turn out bad, man. Look, we got some staples on it. We got some insulation, and right now this insulation pinches right up against
hmm
here, so it's perfect for sound. But we just got to give it a little extra push at the top right now, and then you just hit it right there, and it stays shut. Look, there you go.
You guys didn't see that one coming, did you? You've never heard another person say when your dad made your mom wear the condom. You've never heard anybody say that, I guess.
That's funny. That's funny. So the floating neutral um, is basically,
Too many.
or the floating ground is whether or not you're going to bond your grounds and neutrals together. And it really depends on what switch you're hitting and how you're entering your building with what you got. So if you have a switch where you're also switching your neutral with it, which usually you don't on a house, basically you just run the neutral straight through. Um, if you dump your neutral, you want to reestablish your ground, because you've literally switched your neutral off. Uh, you need to reestablish. Whereas, so a floating ground will be just using the equipment ground of the generator and then using the neutral at the house, basically. Um, Russ
I
can
don't.
also explain that.
I don't know.
Dang. Dang. Reading the chat.
When your dad didn't make your mom
What's up,
swallow.
Vegan Cookies Good Reviews? What's going on, buddy?
The real
That's
VCG.
this cabinet. Yeah. Yeah. So when you have a generator, yeah, are you going to establish the ground on the case? Or are you going to there's a bunch of different ways you can do it. It just depends on what you're doing. You're definitely unique, Souls. Oh man.
I'm just saying that's got to be one of the top 5 things I've ever busted your balls about.
Yeah,
That was
maybe.
good.
Maybe.
That
I
was
thought you
good.
were going to talk about whenever I was trying to drill in that lag that was, what, 5/8 in diameter?
Yeah.
And the drill was so powerful, man. I was standing on a stool because I wasn't tall enough to
Uh-huh.
to get
Uh-huh.
over it, you know.
Yeah.
And the leg on the tripod thing swept
The
me off my feet.
workstation. Yeah.
Yeah,
No. I'll recall the time you tried to use the clamping workstation and then the legs folded and
yeah.
it came back and hit you in the head or almost hit you
I,
in the head.
dude, that
That
clamping
was
station
good.
was almost the death of me, right? I was doing one on the clamping workstation. I was standing on the stool and I was giving this drill all it's got. I'm leaning all of my body weight on it. And so long as the drill was like doing its thing, I kind of had like balance, you know. But
Yeah.
then all of a sudden the drill bogged down and stopped, and I literally had nothing to lean on. I just fell over forward on top of the table, on top of everything.
Yeah. Yeah, I can say I've never seen anyone do as many stupid things on camera as you.
Hey man,
What
it's the real deal, dude. That's why you use the clutch. That's why you don't do what we do.
what do you guys think of the current state of YouTube tool channels and how do you guys fit in?
We do our own thing. We don't try to fit in. So basically, we're talking about this today, man. You got 100,000 subs doing it how they don't recommend you doing it.
True.
And I literally don't even put descriptions in my descriptions. I do everything like the opposite of textbook would be
Yeah.
my channel. The wrong thumbnails, posting at the wrong time, doing lives on video games and not sticking to my niche, not posting consistent shorts, not answering every comment, which I answer a lot of them. But dude, I've probably got more than 3,000 comments I haven't answered.
Let's see. I insult people. My default setting is a-hole.
Yeah,
Uh, like it. I'll tell people if you don't like it, don't watch. I don't care.
yeah,
But I am also me all the time. It's not a character. It's not something that. It's not like a show I put on. That's me. I talk trash in real life. Guess what? I'm going to talk trash online.
yeah.
It's just like the other people. They're watering down their personality, or they don't have one.
Yeah, that's the state of tool channels is that most people play a character. So they can't go live and just on the fly talk about banging somebody's mom and feel any which way about it, you know. It's just a different vibe here, man, and we don't really care if you like it or not. We're just going to keep doing us because that's what it's like in the field, man. People talk the way they talk. We're in there in the field. A lot of the stuff that we're trying to push out is field education, especially me with just electrical and stuff. You're kind of like, you know, how you use tools and how you're doing it wrong and things like that, and just trying to piss people off, I think.
I don't know. The thing is, if I give people the information, that alone upsets them because they have been doing it wrong their entire life, or at
Yeah,
least as long as they've been using tools. Like when I was using, I can't even remember what tool. What's the rotary hammer the other day,
yeah,
and I was like, look how I'm standing. like I'm away from it and I'm just letting the tool
Yeah. Bounce
do the
on
work.
the, bounce on the thing. Yeah, exactly.
And I'm like, I'm not forcing this down at all. I'm not applying any pressure. I have my hand sitting on it, and that's just to keep it seated. That's not to do anything great.
Yeah, it's
It's
6,000 psi concrete. What are you pushing?
yeah.
what what are you pushing? You know what I mean?
And then I go through and I'm like, here's what happens if you push on this tool. You're going to end up burning. You melt the bits is what you're doing. You're melting the bits. And I'm like, that's just a waste of your money. It's a waste of your time with the drill. Use the clutch with the
Yeah,
impact. You don't need to push down on it. Like, and
yeah.
seasoned professionals are doing all that stuff, and I'm telling them that they're wrong. So
The thing is,
naturally, that
dude,
information is going to be
I,
taken kind of poorly.
I can tell you right now that there's no more education in the field. There used to be an old timer that would watch over 7 guys at once, and he wouldn't literally do anything other than to teach you exactly how he wants you to do it, and then he'd double check and all that. Dude, the people that are supervisors now are bouncing in between 40 different jobs right now. And you literally have the blind leading the blind. I see it every day. These guys aren't getting checked on. The only time they learn is when they got to redo it from a failed tag, and they still don't know exactly what they're doing. And then it becomes, I'm going to learn based on what the inspector said. I don't know why I'm doing it. I don't have any code reference to learn why I'm doing it. No one's showing me the right way to do it, and I hope this is how he wants it.
Yeah,
That's the state of construction today. So that's why we do what we do, and I do what I do, because most people aren't getting the education to even use tools properly, let alone how to install it properly, let alone why you need to do it per code, not just because
right,
this is what I go to every city and this is what they require 2 ground mods, we're going to do it. Why do we require 2 ground mods? It's not even a code. It's based on you not having 25 ohms to ground. And then you got to drive a second one. I asked one of the main guys that does our continuing education in this area and the surrounding area in North Texas. I said, why do you make
all
us
right,
drive 2 ground rods? And I asked in front of a bunch of other inspectors. He wasn't happy with me. And he said, I said, man, the code says if you can't prove 25 ohms to ground, you got to drive an additional rod, right?
right,
And it's got to be 6 feet apart. It's called the supplemental electrode gets supplemented with the main. So you have the cold water as the main or you for whatever you have. And then you should drive a supplemental electrode. And then it says if you don't have 25 ohms, you drive an additional one 6 feet away. That's what the code says.
right.
I said, why are you making us drive two? And he said,
Harrison,
we know you're never going to get 25 ohms to ground. Ah, we just know. We make you do it.
right. Uh,
Meanwhile, you hit Caliche, you hit plate, you hit bedrock. Dude, that's the difference you making money on a job or not. And we got to pass that the cost to the customer, you know?
yeah. The other thing that you
What's up,
see out
Harrison?
there, sorry. The other thing that you see out there a lot, especially in like full scale construction sites, not just the electric ones, but as Jonathan Hughes is saying, these companies aren't spending the time to train.
Right.
Uh, when I started, everybody started out in the cleanup crew. You're just a laborer. Then you got to move into your apprenticeship, like that pathway anyway,
Yeah.
where they gauged your work and what you could do and how well you listened before you did anything.
Right.
Uh, I worked with a bunch of old dudes, so they were still using drills, and well, of course, it was in the '90s. Everybody was using drills. Well, the '80s and '90s, everybody was still using drills, and that was just the way of it. And I came up learning how to use a drill, the proper technique, why you use the clutch, how to use a clutch, because we had some really powerful drills back in the day, even though they were brushed, but they were about 15 pounds. And it was 15 pounds of FU, and you'll fly off the roof if you're not doing it right.
I watched somebody get flung off a ladder one day. It's pretty good.
Yeah. So watching the guys today where they're using the impact driver for everything and they don't know what the tool is designed for.
Right.
That was one of the things whenever were assigned a new tool to use, we had to work with somebody that was using that tool.
Right.
Today you show up on a job site, they hand you an impact driver, they hand you some screws, and they say go to work.
Go to work.
They'll tell you what to do, and it's just completely backwards.
Right. Okay, let's talk about this. I see this a lot. Somebody asked, I do want to establish what Mario said earlier, because he said, yeah, just advertise tools with sponsorships, straight up tool testing, or bringing tool deals. Okay, so first off, the tool deals, Tools of Souls has been doing for what, 4 years now?
4 years.
So that's something that you're going to see on YouTube a lot. A lot of people do it, and it's helpful. So he does that. The tool testing is, the new tool comes out, man. We want to know what it does, and we have the experience to compare it to other tools in the past. So we're gonna let you know if it's good or bad. The sponsorship stuff gets very complicated. Okay, if and they did, by the way. If Olight reached out to me and said, "Hey, can we send you some flashlights, dude?" I've been buying Olight since 2014. That
Yeah.
is an honor. Okay. I'm going to show everything. I'm going to be gagging on Olight's balls. Okay. For all I care. Because Olight has already proven to
Nothing
me
new.
they make good products. I know I can trust them. The warranty is lifetime, which is basically unmatched.
Killer. Yeah.
And they're good products. I don't mind talking about Olight. Is it shilly? Yes. Is it morally wrong? No. I have no problem talking about Olight. These other companies that reach out to me, we vet a lot of this stuff ourselves. Other tool channels, I don't know what they do personally. We
Well,
do a
I
lot of vetting ourselves. How many offers do you get a day? I get at least 20.
20. Yeah, 20, 30, and
20
20,
a
I'd
day.
say.
You're talking about 100 offers per week minimum. I'm
Oh,
going to backline
yeah.
up to about 50. I get about 50 a week. You probably get 100. Um,
Uh, yeah, I get a lot.
I
Like
might go a month
every
before I
morning.
say yes. So
Oh,
if you look at how many sponsors we actually have on our channel, understand that we've already gone through 500 people and said no or flat out ignored. And
yeah,
then
we're
not only that, 100 of them are scams. And if you click on those links, what it does, it copies your SIM. They two-factor multi-authenticate themselves. They clone your SIM card. They log into your computer. The pop-ups and said, "Hey, did you just log into this computer?" They've got your SIM card on your phone. So they say yes, and your shit is gone. Okay. There's a lot of risk to doing business as a YouTuber that is flat out not worth it for what we get paid.
true.
YouTube could do a lot better for their creators than letting these companies reach out to us and X, Y, and Z. And they're starting to do that, which is good. But there's a lot that we go through that bringing you guys sponsorships and deals and things like that. When we bring you a product, it's usually pretty good, at least on this channel.
So what I say to all of them, if I decide to take a product, I'm not going to give you a good product, or I'm not going to give you a good review or a bad review. I'm going to let your tool review itself, and it's going to decide how it does. If your tool is a piece of, it's going to show up as a piece of, and I'm going to tell people that it's a piece of.
Yeah.
If it's a good tool, I'll be like, hey, I'm impressed. I like
Yeah.
this. That's
I
it.
I don't go extreme to piece of crap. I go extreme to this is what you could use it for. If you want to build IKEA furniture, you're pretty
Yeah.
brutal with it, but that's okay. That's okay. That's why your content's peak. You're not sure for anything and speak from experience. Okay, let me show you this. I actually educated a master today, so this is kind of cool. And
Vader.
the dude was really knowledgeable. Okay, this is a very common mistake. Let's say this is let's say it's a 600 amp gear here, switch, whatever, 600 amps. We're gonna have two sets of 350 coming in here. I'm just gonna write it up here. 350 KC male. Okay, the wire itself is about that big, real life. So there's my finger. That's how big the wire is. Okay, with the
Dang.
insulation, not just the copper, but the insulation too. Um, Basically, what happens is we have a multiplier for a straight pull and we have a multiplier for an angle pull. Okay, if we're pulling a straight pull, I'm just going to show you up here. If we're pulling a straight pull and we're going from this conduit to this conduit, You have to pull this wire out, and to get it back into this conduit, you have to bend a loop in this and send it back through. That is not an easy thing to do when your wire is this thick. It's copper, and you've got a bundle of it this thick. You're literally having to manhandle to get it through.
Yeah.
And then you pull out, let's say, 100 feet of that, and then you got to loop it back through. Uh, 70 times if you're getting 3 feet a hit. That was bad math. That was really bad math. 30 times if you're getting 3 feet a hit. Um, that's really bad for the wire, right? So we have something called multipliers for the distance from conduit to conduit. So let's talk about that. Basically, thanks
Denny,
again, Danny. Learned a lot
$10.
so far. Man, I appreciate that. Thank you, sir. I'm gonna give you a little heart there, and I'm gonna like it. Nice. Can everyone like that?
Wait, I can't do the heart. My hands aren't bendy
Oh, you
enough
can do. That's
anymore.
perfect. It's
Yeah,
perfect.
I can't. Is that the way it goes? Something like
That's
that?
beautiful,
Or
dude. I think so. I think so. It's
okay.
beautiful.
Well, here, I'll send you the tools and tactics heart.
The tools and tactics are, yeah. Okay.
Kind of
Put
look
that
like
away.
a pair of
Put,
cheeks with a hole
yeah,
in
yeah.
it.
Put that away. Put that away. Check it out. What's up, guys? Been a couple of months. What's up, Alvin? Yeah, it has been a couple of months, bro. What's going on?
Yeah, where are
Okay,
the rest
so
of the
the
chipmunks?
multiplier, right? Pulling that wire out and pushing it back in, really, really difficult. This applies to number 4 and larger. So anytime you got number 4 and larger, uh, this applies, and also bushings. Bushings apply. Number 4 or larger. That says bushing. There you go. I think I'm missing a letter. It doesn't matter, right? This is your box size. I saw this today, and
Can
I'm
I
not allowed
see
to
how
show
you
my phone.
spelled bushings?
Bushigh. Perfect.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I thought bushings would end with an ings,
Uh,
but
I
thank
N
God you're here.
GSSGS. We messed that up. Whatever. Check it out. They were doing this number, dude. They only had like a 12-inch gutter. Okay. The multiplier is 8. So if this is 4-inch conduit, which it was, and these weren't 350s, by the way, this is just a scenario. He was doing 500 aluminums. He was doing 1200 amps, and he was doing 4 sets times 500 aluminum. Aluminum is good for 310 amps each. Multiplied by 4 equals 1240. So 800 amps or more. We have to be exactly that. So if we have a breaker that's 799 amps, we can go to the next standard size. We could have 799 amps of wire to go up, right? After
Yeah.
800 amps, we have to have equal or more amount. So he had 310, he had 1240, which is good for 1200 amps. He was coming in, and he had a 12-inch gutter, which means that he was going to have to loop his wire like this to get it out. No good, dude. I know that I ruined his day. Yeah, I know I ruined his day, but dude, there's no way he couldn't appreciate it later because he's gonna have to spend about $1,000 on a box because his box is gonna have to go 3 times bigger because his boxes are very expensive. Let's talk about the multiplier. So if we have a 4-inch conduit and the multiplier is 8, that's a 32-inch can from wall to wall. Okay.
Holy Jesus. Is it a Kardashian?
Yeah, it's a 32-inch Kardashian can. The standard
Whew.
can size is
That
36.
oh,
This gets
okay.
better.
Okay.
So we got a 36-inch box.
Holy yeah, it's
I'm
Kim.
not sure.
It's Kim. I know that one. It's Kim Kardashian.
Okay, so we got our pipes coming in, right? Now we've got a large wire, 36 inches. We need to be spaced 36 inches away. Inspectors are always fresh in the code. Us guys in the trenches have to look this stuff up occasionally. Yeah, absolutely, Russ. Sorry, we're getting kind of toilet hammer here, but can't help it. We're talking about 36-inch cans, bro. Okay,
Dude.
check it out. This is the rules for this. We have to be the same as our multiplier. We have to be that many inches away from our entry. So if we were coming into the side of this box here, and we're going to say this is a 2-inch conduit. Okay.
Been there.
And we're coming into the side of this box here, and this is also a 2-inch conduit.
Oh yeah.
This
Been there with
box,
2 inches too.
yeah, our angle pull or our U pull here, angle or pull equals 6-inch multiplier. Okay. So
Yes.
12 times 6 is 12. This box needs to be a 12 by 12. This is where you get in trouble. Okay. Our conduit also has to be 12 inches away. If you have a 12-inch box here by 12 inches, you need to put your conduit all the way on the very end to get 12 inches away. And it is as the crow flies. So a lot of times you'll do your math and you're going to say, I've got, let's just mix it up again. I've got a 3-inch conduit here, and I've got a 3-inch conduit. Let me draw this box again. Sorry. There we go. I've got a 3-inch conduit coming in here like this. You would say 3 times 6, I need an 18 by 18 box. But the problem is that you're not going to be able to get 18 inches away from where you're entering. You almost need to go to a 20-inch box. That way you can move your conduit further away to get your 18-inch spacing from conduit to conduit.
God, if she has 18 inches of space
Yeah, it's
conduit
a
to
full box.
conduit, that's she needs Richard Simmons. That's what
Yeah.
she needs. Dang,
So
that's a
that's
big
a
tank.
really, really common issue. Now, something else, because I also kind of present some solutions, which they were really appreciative of. And even the old timer guy, the master told me this, man, the old timer guy, whenever I walked away, that guy said, man, I like to share that inspector because he explained everything. He gave me code references. He was rattling everything off, and he gave me solutions. So if we have a gutter here, right, and a lot of times they'll have their little pipes coming up here for their branch, and then these will come down for their panel. They have a panel here, and then they'll have a panel here. And a lot of times they'll have their main conduit come in here. They'll just drop their main conduit here, and then this will nipple over here, right?
Oh
And then they
yeah.
add up a couple of little conduits here, and then they just come out here. So the little branch circuits are going to come out here, and all the little branch circuits are going to come up there. But their main feeder, because this is a 400 amp panel, you're going to have a 200 amp panel on this side and 400, because this has to be rated at 400 amps. So the wire and everything has to be fully rated if you're bringing
Yeah.
it through. So this is an MLO. This can also has to be rated for 400 amps, even though you're only going to be putting 200 amps on it, because you got to be fully rated as you go through. So if this is a 400
Absolutely.
amp panel and you have main lug only, you don't have any overcurrent protection. So whatever size wire it takes for 400 amps, you also need to bring 400 amps of wire to your next panel, because you're not able to protect that bus just based on how you feel, because the last overcurrent protection was 400 amps. So what I told him to do was to put the end cap, because the end cap is extra on these gutters here. Put the end cap here, and then just run his pipe straight through. Just cut the gutter,
Mm-hmm.
and then run his pipe straight through. Or if he
Oh
can't
yeah.
manage to do that and he doesn't want to cut the gutter, he can offset it and do an LB. My LB's got
You
roof cap.
you told them to run the pipe straight through.
Not through the gutter.
Oh, my bad. My bad.
Yeah, yeah. So there's your solution there. Another thing you can do when you're doing LBs is go one size up larger and put an RE in it. So if you're going to be running 500s to a 4-inch LB, might sound really expensive, but you get yourself a 6-inch LB, for example, put some reducers in there. Your LB will be huge here, and then you'll reduce down to a smaller size conduit, and you can do that. That way you have a bigger opening
Oh,
here to feed your wire out and then back in to go back up.
true that.
You're having too much fun with this one.
I mean, you're talking about big cans
Yeah, big cans, boxes,
and boxes.
gutters,
Yeah,
tape measures.
gutters. getting it, you getting him to run the pipe.
Yeah.
I mean, dang.
What he's saying is correct. It's proper code. I learned this in school. Nice, Jonathan. Appreciate you verifying. Inspectors are first with code. He's following right along. I don't know what you're on about.
18 inches. He lost me when he went beyond 2.
Yeah, straight pulls 8 times in the race. Right,
Nipples.
absolutely. I wonder how many electricians have gone to the funny farm because they went deep into the code.
I hate to tell you this.
You're looking at one right now, I suppose.
They didn't go into the funny farm. They just became inspectors, and then the state's taking care of them.
What's the current best modular box, man? I really like the mod box.
Yeah.
You don't need any mods to take the back off so it fits in your SUV. I know you would say a lot of people drive a truck. They don't. Most electricians actually have a car.
Okay.
That's just the way it is. You have a sedan. Usually it's a Honda because it takes on a bunch of miles. So a lot of people in the field have sedans. So you can take the rail off of that. They're really robust. They've got kind of the free platform to carry your stuff, and they just work.
I mean, it's basically just the rigid with a few more features.
Right.
But no, it's the Milwaukee Packout. The Milwaukee Packout is the correct answer because it has the biggest, most expansive, most robust system out there.
Did he say for electricians?
No, he did not. You just read for electricians.
I always read for electricians.
Because you always read with a lisp.
Chris B says that. Are you gonna do this? Are you gonna do the sound or not? Come on.
What?
Come on.
What sound? The lisp? Oh, about how you read?
Yeah.
I'll read a few as you read them in your head. I also love the mod box. Bro, the one that shows up at your house when you call her. Well, in this case, him.
Yeah.
I like my Flex Stack pack. To you, prefer a truck or a van? I switched to a van recently. Wouldn't
Nice.
Tough Built be better than Milwaukee? That's where the first year Juderman knows it all. It knows it all's come from. Fresh in the code. LOL.
Yeah. That's funny. That's from all the first year dream to know it all come from fresh in the code. That's funny. Bob the Builder.
You love Makita internally, I'm sure. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I knew that.
Oh,
Tough
that's
Belt,
great.
no, Tough Belt you can now buy on Temu. It's not really like they didn't expand it the way we thought they would.
What's up,
So
Buzzville?
I'd say Tough Belt is out. Flex just came out with a new 3-drawer and a single drawer rolling box. I don't know if they've been out for a while, but they just got the email that they're coming out with
You want
those.
me to read it in the voice.
Oh, I was trying to get him read it in the voice. Okay, hold on. He loves Makita, especially in his butt.
Perfect. Yeah. Do I prefer a
Budsville.
truck or a van? You switch to a van. I drove a van for a while, but I don't know, man. It's hot in the van, dude. Picking material is hot, right? So in Texas, you're getting your material out of the van. It's like it's worse than the porta potty. It just depends on what you're doing. But I do like a van because it's covered and your stuff is just generally safer. And you can put like all the strut, the ground rods. I like building a 2x6 kind of false floor with slots in
Yeah.
there, and you can slide your pipe along the actual what would be the base of the van. And then you can stack everything on top of the plywood on top of it. You know, just make your own kind
Sure.
of deck system. And the
here's
organization is good. I don't like the box fans, especially during bad weather, man. The box fans are kind of scary. Also, you can't go through
no,
drive-throughs in a box fan. Not all of them.
I hate to tell you this. We drove a high cube for the longest time
What is a high
before we
cube?
start. So it's what you would call a box truck,
Oh, okay, yeah,
but
yeah.
12 feet tall. That way I could stand in the back.
Oh, you got the top racks for Conduit. Yeah, man. Spend you about what? Plywood, $36. You want good plywood. You don't want to get OSB because you want it to last. It needs to be smooth. Don't get cabinet grade, but don't get the cheapest stuff. You want at least $55 plywood for the top of that thing so it lasts. And then get you some 2x6s and just get some screws and just float it on there and make your rack system in your van. I saw a guy.
He's
This is what he did, man. It's pretty genius. But he was a solar contractor, so you never know, man. But this solar contractor did not wear flip flops, so he was actually probably a pretty good solar contractor. Most solar contractors wear flip flops, and they sleep in their car, and you got to knock on the window to wake them up for their inspection. What he did, this was his van, and I got a short of this, but basically he had his wire reel back here like this, and he ran with a segmented 45 bend like this all the way to the back of his van, and then he 90 down, or maybe it was like a 45 kind of drop like this, and he had it all strapped, and this was 3/4 conduit, and he could put all of his rolls of wire on the back here, and he could pull all of the boats through this conduit. So sitting here, he had a black, a red, a blue, and a green, and a white ready to go, and he could just sit at the back of his van, and this was all already on the spool on the racketeers racks. And he
yeah.
was just sitting at the back of the van. He opened up both doors. They'd both be faced like this, where they shut. That's way too long for a door. And he would just stand here and he would just pull the wire while he was outside of the van in the breeze and not have to ever set up any jack stands, any wire, anything like that. He just pulled it straight through that. Maybe it was a 1 inch, but he put a bushing here and he put a bushing here. And it was pretty cool.
Sayer showed up.
What's up, Sayer?
How's life in the 51st state?
Dude, Tools and Souls hit 100,000. I don't know if you knew. You've been sleeping
Don't
under the
say
rock.
it.
Just sleeping
You're
with the mountain
jinxing
lion
it.
up there.
Good luck fishing, bro.
You didn't have a dad to teach you all this? I didn't have a dad to teach me all this either, man.
That's true.
It's a slick idea. Yeah, it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool what they were doing. Yeah, I don't know. That got kind of dark. Yeah, dude, my parents didn't teach me anything. I learned from old timers, probably like Russ here, who would yell at you if you did it wrong, but at least they would show you how to do it right. And then as I started progressing in the trade, luckily I was hungry to learn more. And this guy was no, it's all good, dude. They're both gone, so it doesn't matter. Whatever. So I had a guy that started teaching me how to like really bend conduit because I didn't really know how to measure, right? When you measure your conduit, if they don't teach you, then you just don't know. So you're just kind of like trying to figure it out and you don't really know how to measure. But basically, if this is your conduit here and this is your threads, and we're going to do an offset and we're going to measure here to this one. When you measure, you're going to measure from this side of your conduit to this side of your conduit because they're both on the left side, which makes sense to you guys because you're older. But when you're 18, 17 years old in the field, you learn the wrong way. You learn bad habits, and then you don't really know why you're doing something. And then you start trying to measure to the center of the conduit, which is almost impossible. And then you're trying to measure the center of the conduit again. Your bends are going to be off.
True that.
You never yell at your apprentices, Robert. Good on you, man. I got told to go find that wire stretcher. It was red. And then on the way home, this might have been racist, so I don't want to say it, but they were telling me that
Oh no.
what something meant, and they were saying that they're going to tell the boss that I said that about his wife all day on the way home, and how he's going to kick my ass, and just fun times, man, on the van as a new guy, you know. And then
Well,
there
that's
was,
what the new guy's there for.
yeah, and then yeah, they just go on a whole bunch of stuff, man. Been through it all. Went to the restaurant industry, should have maybe went elsewhere. I like cooking though, so it works out. Nice, nice. Did the dog try and eat the Chinaman? I don't know. Wire stretchers and blinker fluid. Yeah, exactly.
Board stretcher? You didn't have the board stretcher?
The board stretcher, no, because I always joke about the wire stretcher, dude, on jobs, and I told a guy the other day he was better off doing this instead of getting the wire stretcher. So what happened was I was being proactive because I don't have to do any of this. How'd the house go? Like this. So
Probably
what
four
do I see? I'm
walls.
looking out the window and I see the air conditioner pad, right? I walk around the side because I'm inside the house where the studs are because I can see the studs. And I see the number 10
Not shocked he's inside with the studs.
and the number 10 stubbing out here. He needs 30 inches side to side, 36 front to back. So he's not going to be able to put his disconnect here, but he's already got it stubbed out.
Paul W.
So I just told the dude, I was like, look, man, just play it off. Like, don't get your wire stretcher. Don't rerun 100 feet of that number 10 all the way because the panel's way over here in the garage, right? I was like, don't even worry about that, dude. Just set you a double gang bell box here, and then just 90 over here, 90 up, and mount another disconnect here for the final because that's what I would do. Like just run a little bit of extra pipe, run it down low so it looks clean, and 90 up to a disconnect, then come out of your disconnect and run to your unit. It'll be fine. I was like, don't spend your bonus on day one on a rough that another electrician jacked up.
Running it rough, are you?
Yeah,
Dang.
the tools are improving. Don't hurt you. They are improving.
No, they're
I
not.
would say they're on par with the Makitas from 2007.
Okay, so still trash.
But dude, I was drilling through granite on the side of buildings with the brushed Makita in 2007. So sure, you went through 3 batteries, but the point is, you don't need a lot of torque as an electrician, and Makita was just fine for a lot of trades.
It's because they were the best available. It's not because they were great.
That's also true.
B Dubs.
Initiation got done real
I can
fast.
definitely recall getting thrown off of the merry-go-round a time or two when it was spinning too fast. Or I don't know if you guys ever did the drunk man, where you go onto the center of the merry-go-round and then people spin you around for like 2 minutes, and then they want you to walk after it stops. Right?
2 minutes is a long time.
I can't tell. It maybe less. I don't remember. It was back in the day. But you get off and you can't even see straight, and you're trying to walk. I can't tell you how many people lost teeth.
Oh man, that's funny.
It was good times, man.
Done that. Danny Fools done that. It's a good thing
I
you
mean,
use Metabo. My man, dude, Metabo is so underrated. Metabo is a great line.
agreed.
Underrated. All their tools are very decent. All their tools are very comfortable. I'm not a fan of their batteries. I don't
Mm.
like their batteries, but I don't like a lot of people's batteries. Third week of your NEC class and electrical
Good
wiring
luck.
class. Wish you luck. Yeah, good luck. That's awesome.
No, I never recovered. It could have been worse. If I had kept going on it for a lifetime, I would have qualified as Canadian.
That's how I feel after trying to text my wife while I'm running late. I just got off a merry-go-round. Dang. The Japanese brand that actually keeps improving well for the most part.
Okay.
Hikoki?
Hikoki.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. A lot of their tools, they need quick insert chucks to really compete.
Colin.
Collet, sorry. Collet. Need quick insert collets. If you do infrared, you'll understand that. That's otherwise a really, really nice impact.
Went dark there for a second. I don't know.
Yeah, I did. Miss working with those guys. They've been retired for 15 years, I think. Wow.
Yeah.
Buddies.
Dude, I showed you guys my 14.4 DeWalt the other day.
Is California really as terrible as people say it is regarding the code? I'm in Cali. They kind of have a little bit of their own rules, but probably not. Well, let me think about that.
Jonathan's here. He's an
Jonathan would
electrician in
know.
Cali.
I can tell you where I'm at. The code is extremely strict. We call everything to the T, and we're known for it. So
I live in Missouri, so we use the code from India.
right,
Pretty straightforward. You see people out there with a ladder hooking directly into the power line with a coat hanger and bringing it down. That's Missouri for you.
There you go.
The first gen, you guys don't even have the first gen of cordless tools. What are you thinking about the first gen of cordless?
Yeah, they're thinking like the DeWalt
Like
NiCads, probably.
Yeah, and I've got I still have tools that run nickel metal hydride.
Oh, Russ would know. Yeah, Russ says they were terrible. Yeah. You know how you get those comments? It's like, I've been 30 years in the field, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
Dude, I think Russ is legit 30 years in the field. Usually you get those comments, I've been doing this for 30 years, and it's like,
Right.
yeah, but the way that I'm responding to you and then you're getting butthurt tells me you haven't been in the field for 30 years.
True that.
60 years old. Thank you for your service, sir. Thanks for teaching all the electricians.
God bless you, Russ. Thankfully, between him and Howie Z, we have 2 people in the audience that are older than me. Oh, and Rodney, 3.
Ooh, Diamondback or Vito. It depends on what you're doing, right? If you're framing, it's going to be
out of
Diamondback.
100,000. 3.
If you're an electrician, Vito makes some really nice pouches for minimalism. A lot of their pouches are for handymen. They're for technicians. They're for service technicians. I already said that. They're for HVAC. You can't do construction with Vito's very easily. This is Vito's smallest pouch. You see how far it sticks off your hip?
Yep.
Actually, that's a lie. They have the MP1X, which is missing one less slot. But this sticking off your hip and still not being able to carry all the tools, that's crazy, dude. What happens in the field if you're doing construction is you have a common box because you might be walking to your car for a mile, right? So everyone leaves their tools on the job site. And this, you get a bag like this, and this bag is magical. It collapses with your tools, right? So even with all your tools in here, this bag still somewhat collapses. Where these bags do, they don't collapse. Like I can stand on this, it doesn't really crush. And that's a problem in a gang box where your tools are so rigid, they can fall out, people can mistake their tools. Everyone's an opportunist in the field. So if you've got an open tool bag like this, things like that, Vito's really bad about. I like the zip up ones, less tools. Have you guys seen the video on my my grips with the cold fit? I still have yet to cut that off. There's a certain length I want to cut that to, but these are pretty much 1,000-volt rated. unofficially, and yeah, they flip nice still,
Yeah,
and they're very grippy.
yeah.
And
I gotta say something to Sayer though. Uh, Sayer, if he wasn't on your pickle for 61 years, he may not have needed that Cullen stuff.
cool bag talk, yeah.
Just saying. Just saying. I've just read that and I was like, on your pickle? What?
Oh, what's going on, Sayer? Man, you gotta.
Yeah. I hope he's okay though.
Texas likes to say "gang" for some reason. the
He
job
does.
box, the job box, the JOBOX. You sound like a tea kettle, Sayer. You all right?
I was just laughing at you.
All right, just checking. That's funny. California and Texas are some of the hardest states to get your electrical license in. Yeah, I believe that. They do change like the wind, probably. How's Arizona? I don't know anything about Arizona. You left yourself open for that one. Yeah. Hey, we got to get out of here. Um, yeah, we got to go. I got some videos coming out. Um,
I always do.
we got this thing. It's a mellow tough. There's your sneak peek. I'll let you know what I think about it. It looks just like the Tough built, and it
Oh,
even features a nice little clippy system there.
does the tough belt stuff in it?
Now, it's its
Oh,
own thing, but it's no. Dude, I should just sue at this point. Like, what? It's like it even has the strap on the bottom. Like, it's like, what in the world is going on here? Yeah, the mellow stuff is just invading Tough Build's territory.
I think you're
Bad.
saying this stuff on purpose. You just said strap on the bottom.
Snap, snap,
Like you got
snap.
you said
Yeah,
strap on the bottom.
we
You're
did.
just saying like I think you're just in that zone right now. You're
It
like
happened.
Pancho, take me away.
Oh man. Okay.
Dude.
Uh, there's one more thing I was gonna say. Oh yeah, the vetoes. I might get one. I might get the XL. They got so many names, man. I can't keep up. Right now, there's a promotion where you get the other bag for free. It's like $160 value, where you're spending more, spend more. Is what we talked about. Don't do. Just buy the
Yep.
bag you want. But I might do it. A veto is very expensive, and it deserves to be, but there's not very many great veto bags. There's a lot of veto bags. Probably the TP XXL. Yeah, probably. Might get the infrared one. Looking at it, but you also get the XBLDLC, whatever the heck it is, right? And it's got the drill holster on the side, and then it's got the removable little tool pouch, and then it's got the TP whatever with it. And that's pretty cool because I like both of those bags. But really, those are the only bags that make sense. Like once you buy those, honestly, once you have this bag, you almost don't need anything else because this thing zips up. It carries everything you need. Um, it's more of a want, not a need. So I'm trying to work it into the budget of the infrared does look so good, man. It does look good. But I'd settle for the blackout.
Did you say you'd settle for the black guy?
The black guy, the blackout, same thing.
My bad. My bad. I thought you
Hey,
said black
when we
guy.
are ramming it up you, it feels the same. So yeah, you buy the blackout or you get the black guy, dude. Either way, your hole is never going to be the same when you buy Vito.
Yeah, well, you're getting it up there anyway when you buy the
Yeah,
Vito. It's a
yeah.
purse. By the way, if you're buying a
It's a
Vito,
purse.
you're buying a purse. You might as well just walk to your wife and ask if she can take you to the Coach store because it's a purse. Don't act like it's not. That's what
Oh
it
man,
is. It's a
it's
freaking purse.
it
You
depends which
talk
one you get.
about these things the same way my wife talks about her coach and what's the other one there?
I don't
The
know.
other big purse place. But that's what you talk.
Baton.
And I'm just like, I'm a dude. Um, I don't care about
TJ
your
Maxx has
purse.
some good purses. The satchel.
I don't really care about your purse. I used a bucket. That's what a bucket buddy. That was it. And back in the day, it cost me $8 to buy a bucket buddy. Okay,
Yeah.
that's what I used.
This is why it's hard to recommend a Vito because we have this beautiful purse right here. Right. It even has a handle. Like it even comes with a cross
Does
handle.
does it come with the shoulder strap?
Yes, the crossbody shoulder strap. It actually
It's a,
does, right? So
it's a
so we have this
purse.
purse here from CLC, and it actually like the pockets actually make sense in it, and it
Uh-huh.
holds. As I say it with the freaking commercial electrics on here. You know what? Here's a hot take. These are
It'll
better
hold.
than Milwaukee.
It'll hold your makeup, all your eyeshadows, your lipsticks. It's got little individual lights for your eyeliner. It's
how how you
it's
gonna
really
bust a
nice,
man
and
that likes to make his
and it
job easier?
yeah, it even has a little place for you to put your your unmentioned, like the spare underwear, your tampons,
That's
and your
exactly
credit
what I
cards
mean. Because
all
sometimes,
in one.
yeah, sometimes you just don't get to it in time, and you need that spare underwear. I mean, and the Vito will hold that.
Hey, does it come with a matching phone case? That's what I want to know. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So put your wire strippers in your back pocket, 100%. Um, what I'd like to do is get some cold shrink on my Crocs here. But yeah, I'm a huge fan of the stamp set
Purses.
wire, the stamp
Oh
set strippers here. There is no word I can say without being an innuendo as an electrician.
no,
It
no.
just there is
That's why
none.
straight men don't go into it.
Maybe
Look, here's the
does it
ones
come with a
that go.
matching phone case? I don't think that one does.
Here are the guys that go into the electrical field.
Oh God, here we
Okay,
go.
drug addicts.
Yep.
They've got to be on meth or coke. That's it.
They usually are. We had a guy that was doing really
See,
good,
see,
and he was in the
told you.
-40-degree freezer, like just chilling. And we knew something was up, but he was doing so
Booger
good, we
sugar.
just let him continue running pipe.
Yeah.
And dude, he was so like I almost said he was so hot. That was their words, not mine. The dude was so souped up whenever he took his hair follicle test. They were like, man, he was probably high in the office while he was taking the test. Like that's how much he had. Okay, continue. I was just trying to yeah.
Swingers. That's the second group.
All right.
And what I say, Makita guys.
Makita guys, yeah. It's true.
Those are the only three types of dudes that you can find doing electric work.
Oh, what did Mario say? Yeah, exactly. Okay,
I
guys,
went
we're out
there.
of here. This was fun, dude. This was good for a change. Go check out Tools of Souls. He's got the deals and he's crazy and doesn't care what you think. These two batteries are $55, so make sure
Russ
you
is a
guys.
swinger.
Yeah,
He swings from Dingleberry to Dingleberry.
Dingleberries. I'm never gonna forget, man. We went to Branson together. We were hanging out, and this dude asked the waiter. We were at Guy Fieri's, and that's not gay at all, right? So we're at Guy Fieri's. We're eating at Guy Fieri's, and the food was freaking awesome, right? So waiter comes up, and I guess these guys are like paid to act a fool.
Hmm.
So he's like on his like spiel because they got like a whole spiel and they got like a whole little kind of gag that they're doing. Souls asked this dude if he's got any dingleberry tea for me. And the waiter just rolls with it. And he's like, yeah, we can get some of that. I was like, damn,
Fresh squeezed.
that's sweet. All right.
He had a teabagging reference he could have made right there, and he said fresh squeezed instead. I would have gone with the teabagging. I'm just saying. I teabagged myself. Yeah.
Nice. You got OSHA 10 training. That's good. That's a start. Get as much as you can, man. The thing with safety, as stupid as it sounds, and as much fun as it is to make fun of it, man, looking back, and like you said, smoking dope again. Looking back, I go to some of these job sites, man, and I wonder how I made it out alive. I'll be seeing like some crazy stuff, you know. I'll be walking past holes. A lot of the hotels and apartments are just plywood, and there'll be like holes that I could fall through. You're just walking by, you know, and I won't fail the whole job for it, but I'll give them, you know, I'll threaten them, just like, hey, if I come back out and there's a hole I can fall in, we're gonna have a problem. But that's just the way it is, dude. You get complacent with it, and then you
What?
just walk right by that large hole you can fall through.
Why don't you tell him what it's like when you FaceTime me as you're doing an inspection?
Oh yeah, yeah. You guys missed out on those, man. I wish I could still film on site. We looked at one today. Bro went foam crazy. Put so much foam behind the box, it pushed the box out. So they put back-to-back boxes first off, right? So he's got a box on the kitchen side and he's got a box on the garage side.
Perfect.
He put foam in between them and pushed the box in the garage out and pushed the box in the kitchen out. It's literally hanging out of the wall. Like to a certain point, if you need to, it's kind of like a floor box where you can cut it flush and the threads go all the way down. So if you mount a floor box up and it's proud with the concrete,
Yeah.
you can flush cut it and the threads are still there, so you can do whatever you got to do for the most part. These boxes you can do that too because they're plastic. Dude, this box was like beyond the threads. Like it was like out like almost 2.5 inches out of this wall. And the wires getting pulled on so hard that it pulled the sheathing out and the wires were like exposed going into the box. There was one that I got coming out, and I said, "What did I say? Hang on, is my phone on me? I'll give you guys a sneak peek. You guys get a sneak peek because you haven't seen this one yet either."
I have not. No. No, but he'll be walking around doing random stuff, and I'll be looking at the framing that's going on in the house, or he'll be going up the stairs, and I'll be like, "Oh, those stairs are gonna creak.
First
Why
off,
why can't they cut a tread?"
should we require a bushing on that plastic bushing? We've got a Romex connector. The Romex is identified for the use. The Romex is rounded on the inside. That's number 4 wire. Would you guys expect to have an inspector put a plastic bushing on that to protect the wire? Yes or no? That's first off. This one
Um,
here, dude. This one here
I
is
don't-
hilarious. Listen to this commentary. It's gold. Comments below. Okay. Let us know. I could be wrong, but this don't look right. Let us know if we should continue to employ Helen Keller in the comments below. And what do you guys think happened here?
Helen Keller, definitely.
Oh man, I see crazy stuff, dude. Crazy stuff. What are they teaching these guys in Texas? You don't even want to
They're
know.
not.
It's unsupervised. It's just, hey, I went to a job yesterday. I actually passed it. I was too busy. You at some point when you have too many inspections, you got to pick the ones that are more likely to like really be jacked up, or you got to pick the finals or the meter releases or people that need power. And the guys that are doing apartments that are doing really good, I walk in and they got like all the receptacles, and I'm finding like I might find wires touching a gusset every once in a while, which are the mending plates on the trusses, right? I don't like wires touching the gussets, but it's not the end of the world. Um, that's usually what I see at that job. That's kind of the least of my worries when you're putting it into perspective. I went to this job
Right.
yesterday, failed 4 times, 3 times. I failed at the fourth. I still didn't fee it though because I'm stupid. I don't like to fee people, right? I
Sure.
think the fees cause animosity. They don't really help. Like it's just a feel good measure for the inspector. Sure, it might kick you in your ass to get you going to do the right thing, but also I don't know. I probably could have feed him, but I didn't. So whatever. All he needed to do was put a freaking connector on a pipe. Like that's it. Like just put a male adapter. I actually like field piece for troubleshooting. So I made a lot of money troubleshooting. Field piece is a better bang for your buck troubleshooting. You're going to spend an arm and a leg on fluke. I don't need to trust my life when troubleshooting. It's that simple. I need something that I can bang around that I can afford to replace because you're bouncing around from room to room. You're putting the meter down. You're scratching it. You need to read all the special settings with the field piece. They got flashlights built in. They read more ohms normally. The field piece is what I like. When Kansas says still live, now I know I'm in trouble.
Yep.
Yeah. Dang, I was saying something and now I can't even think what I was saying.
No news. There's nothing new there.
No. We were talking about the
Thank
job.
you,
Oh
J
yeah.
Dub.
Yeah. All he had to do was glue an MA to some PVC and
Too
lie
much.
to me and pretend like it was going to be that far off the wall. Like, I would like you to measure it and cut it to the brick ledge so that way when they lay the brick, they can actually get a nice bead of mortar around the connector and everything can go flush and we can be 100% sealed from weather. And that's a lot to ask though now. So if I can just get some glue on the damn thing, let alone a PVC connector, I'm somewhat happy. I really do want you to cut it to fit where the brick ledge is going to go and do a good job. Right? They still couldn't do that. I passed it. I wasn't going back out there to look at a freaking connector. If you can't get a connector on by now, dude,
And there is the
I
difference.
passed it.
And there is the difference between us. He'll just give up on you. I will humiliate you.
I can call the guy. I got his number. I try to
Oh,
help
you.
that when I can.
Well, have him call me and I'll humiliate him. Thank you, J Dub. I appreciate
Yes,
that.
the 1.7 was a great deal. Probably the deal of the year. Maybe we're really early, but that's probably the deal of the year.
Mm.
55 or 2 power stacks, dude. That's huge.
I'm going to take $49 for a rotary hammer.
Oh, yeah, that is pretty good. But power stacks are just
How about
infinitely more
this?
useful.
How about this? $1,000 rotary hammer for $125.
Pretty good, too.
I'm just saying.
Okay. Here's the deal. We're out of here. We'll see you guys. Appreciate all the support. See you guys soon. I'm fixing to move all this. I'm going to move this table and back this up closer so me and my wife can get back here easier, raise the table, continue to get this stuff. So I've isolated the camera from the table, right? And I
Yes.
started to isolate the microphone the other day. This thing completely, like, you would think because this thing supports weight that they would glue these.
No.
They don't. They just pop nails in there. So this thing
Yeah.
got ripped off to the point where I couldn't even get it back to where it used to be because it's too close to the wall. But yeah, so I was trying to isolate the microphone. We're just going to kind of redo some stuff. We're going to make a built-in kind of stand here to mount some 4x6s across here, and this will sort of keep the backdrop here. Probably going to move this over here and move some stuff around. But ultimately, what I'd like to do is get to where
I'm
I can get
cold,
a picture like this
but only on that side.
and not have anything in the background that I don't want to see.
Yeah.
So, yeah. We'll see you later, Russ. Appreciate it.
I'm
We'll
only
see you
half
later, guys.
cold.
See you guys.